Welcome and thank you for joining us today. We do this show every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And welcome to Christy Iwuchukwu's Brilliance TV show. So what do we do at this show? And who am I? My name is Christy Iwuchukwu, aka Lady Christy. I am the CEO and founder of Chosen Path Global, helping you gain confidence. It's about stand up, speak out, and speak out. Listen, it's about gaining confidence overall. This show, every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is where we spotlight the defining moments, I can get the words out, the defining moments and accomplishments of today's top business leaders, entrepreneurs, unique and most successful individuals. And guess what? This is where you come in, because this show cannot exist without you. It is because of you that I have this show. Every Monday, I bring experts to talk about different topics that will enhance your business. And today, I am so looking forward to today's conversation. But before I get to today's conversation, I want to tell you about the project that I have going on. And this project is for you because it's for your growth. I have Women's Coaching Association, and everything is online except once a year we're going to have a conference once a year. But so what is Women's Coaching Association? Women's Coaching Association is a supportive platform for coaching professionals just like you to get together and network in a non-competitive atmosphere. So I would love for you to be a part of this brilliant association for brilliant coaches just like you. So what do you expect in this show? What do you expect when you connect? What do you expect by joining the organization, the Women's Coaching Association? Women's Coaching Association offers you an opportunity to put yourself out there, to be visible to potential new clients. It offers you an opportunity for you to grow your business while you are growing your database. You get to connect, collaborate, and partner with other business coaches just like yourself. But most importantly, it helps you learn from the top coaches in the world. Among everything else, you get to connect and really network with women just like you, because that was one of the things that I struggled with starting out as a new coach, being able to put myself out there and network. When I didn't find other people to do the same thing, I knew that other people were seeking the same thing. So that's why I created Women's Coaching Association. And I'm going to tell you more at the end of this show, but I am super excited to get started on tonight's show. Our guest star today is Linda Pringle Evans. And I don't even know that I can do justice by introducing her, but I'm going to try. Linda Pringle Evans is a brand extraordinaire, helping women's entrepreneurs and career women stand out with distinction. It's not just stand out, but stand out with distinction. Linda is the founder and the president of Pringle Business Consulting, LLC. So if you ever have a question, who am I? Who do people say that I am? How do people see me when I'm not there? Are people really saying who I think they're saying about me? Or are they saying something else? Why do we even care about branding? Why is branding so important? Well, that and much more is what our guest today is going to talk about. So please help me welcome our guest, my friend, who is also a member of Women's Coaching Association, Linda Pringle Evans. Linda, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am super excited. I see that Zandra is on there as well. thank you for joining me. I am super excited. So let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Well, first, Christy, allow me to thank you for having me on your show this evening. It is truly a privilege and an honor to be in your presence, even though it's through technology. But I want to thank you for this opportunity and to be of service for you and your people as well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me by you saying no. I mean, it's so late where you are now, but you still took the time to come. So I don't take it lightly. I know that we're going to be meeting in Las Vegas next month in person. So I cannot wait for that conference next month.
That's right.
For Public Speakers Association. So I'm so looking forward to meet you in person. But on to today's topic that I'm so excited about. It's all about branding. And I love the fact that you and I serve the same niche, which women, we search women. And we got to talk. And the more we talk, the more I said, I have got to have this lady. I've got to have you talk about it. Because branding is something that we think it's all about colors. But after talking to you, I realized that it's not all about color. It's much more than that. But before we go into that, tell us, for people who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about who you are. I believe that in every situation, before you can get to the mountaintop, you gotta go through the valley. Oftentimes, we hear people when they are on the mountaintop, we don't get to see or hear about their journey. But it is in that journey that we get to learn the greatest lesson. So tell us, pull the curtain back a little bit. Tell us how you got to be here and who is Linda.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to make this as short as I possibly can. Linda, it all began with being raised by my paternal grandparents in rural Georgia and living in a community where there was such emphasis placed on who we are. And I grew up during a time when it was quite tumultuous in the South during the Civil Rights era. So, of course, there was a lot of attention that was placed on African Americans about our identity. And one of the things that was so prevalent within my family and within the community was understanding who I am, who we are as a people, and being able to accept who I am. That was so important to me because that is something that my grandparents taught me, how to be myself, not trying to imitate or become someone that I'm not, and that I was created on purpose for a purpose. That has always been a part of my life, understanding that there is more to me than just existing, that I'm here to make a difference in the world. So in growing up, I learned the basics of having an identity. I'm not going to say personal brand because at that time, no one knew anything about personal branding, but understanding my identity and appreciating who I am as an individual, accepting myself. That's the most important thing, is learning to understand who you are, and accepting who you are is important. So in doing that, as I grew into a woman, I got married just like most women. And my husband didn't appreciate me over time. And I started losing my identity, trying to fit and become what he wanted me to be. And in doing that, I found myself being very unhappy. I was having a good life, but that good life wasn't based on my true self. So taking the time to go back and reassess my life and identify where those gaps were, why I wasn't feeling fulfilled, I made a very drastic decision. And that decision was to divorce my ex-husband. And I stepped out on faith and owned myself. And that was a journey. And it was one that a lot of people probably thought I was insane for doing. But I'm glad I did, because it led me to where I am today. I can stand in truth when I talk and help women to become who they were created to be, not trying to emulate anybody else, but accepting your gifts, your talents, your abilities, and knowing that you're special and finding what makes you different from everybody else, and especially for women in business. So that's a little bit of why, pulling that curtain back as to the trajectory of why I'm where I am today, if that makes sense. But personal branding has always been a part of my life.
I love that. I love that. So Linda, can you pull back a little bit? Your head is being cut off from here, from the video. Can you pull? Yes.
How about that?
Yes, perfect. That's yeah, I like that. Thank you so much. So,
you're welcome.
You know, I love a quote by I can't think of that person's name now, but the quote says, "Be yourself. Everyone else is
already been taken."
Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Dolly Parton.
So when we talk about this, and it takes me back to that quote again by Bernard Bradshaw. And he said, "Be who you are. Say what you feel. Because those who mind don't matter. And those who matter don't mind." And it really goes back to what we're talking about tonight. Because it's about, I teach women, I help women with confidence, getting confidence, being themselves. Mm-hmm. And I do that because I'm so passionate about it. That's one thing that I struggle with. And I know that that's one thing a lot of women struggle with. And for me, it was a different case because English is still my second language. But it was a cop-out. English is my second language, still is. But was that really the case? Was that why I didn't feel like it was good enough, that I couldn't come out and share my message with the world when I know I have message to share? Right? I felt incompetent. I felt that no one will want to hear what I have to say. And that held me captive for so many years. When I finally realized after self-development that it's not really about them, it has to do with me. The confidence, it really has to do with an individual. When you can go deep inside yourself and find out why, and you begin to work on yourself, everything else will change and doors will begin to open. So that's why I love what we're talking about, because it ties to confidence as well, which is branding. So tell me, what is one of the problems that you face or that you have experienced working with women in terms of confidence? Why not confidence? Branding in this case, not confidence. What is one of the problems that you find that is prevalent among women?
What I've discovered is, and it has been consistent, is clarity. You know, as women, I think it is an innate ability that we are nurturers. We love to nurture, and we're always about helping and wanting to expand. But what I have seen from women women in business or starting businesses, there's that lack of clarity about exactly what it is that they want to become known for. They have so many balls up in the air about what it is that they want to do. And what I do with my clients is help them to zone in on one thing and become known for one thing. And then we can work on adding all of the other elements at a later time. But having the clarity of understanding who I am, what makes me unique, what differentiates me from everybody else, who am I here to serve, not everybody, but what specific group of people can I solve a specific problem for. This is an ongoing pattern, Christy, that I see with most women. And what I do, I help them to narrow it so that they understand exactly who they are, what makes you great, what if you had to describe yourself within 3 to 5 words, and I say use adjectives, what would you say about who you are? And I would ask you the same thing, Christy. Give me 3 to 5 adjectives that you would use to describe yourself.
Oh, right now?
Right now.
I'm very compassionate.
Okay.
I am vibrant.
Okay.
I love people. I love to serve.
Love to serve.
But most importantly, I love to give back. I love to make people happy. I love people. I love to have people fulfill what is it that they want to fulfill. Whatever that's going to stand in their way, I'm that person to come to help them do it.
One of the things I think we have to understand, and I love Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. His description of a personal brand is perfect. And I think this is where a lot of people lose the understanding, the clarity of what a personal brand is. When you're not in the room, how are people describing you? Mm-hmm. And if they are not using the right descriptive words or filters about you, then there's a miscommunication. Something is missing where your perception is not aligned with what you want others to think about you. So that's what I want our audience to really take away from this tonight is how are people describing you when you are not in the room? And the other way that you can also find out how people think and feel about you is listen to the way people introduce you. What words are they using in introductions? This is Christy. Christy is vibrant. She's a giver. Those words, that's what you want to hear. So when people are introducing you, start paying very close attention to make sure that those adjectives are being used about you. And if they aren't, you can always make sure by creating, shaping, and molding the perception that you want people to have about you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You have the opportunity to create the personal brand that you want to project into the world.
I am loving this conversation. So I'm going to follow up on that conversation. When we talk about working with someone like you, a brand consultant, people tend to shy away and think perhaps until I get to be big, until I get to be making 6 or 7 figures, that's when I will need to come to someone like you. Can you tell us the benefit of coming to you before we get there?
Well, let me say this. No matter who you are already branded. People already have a perception about who you are. Whether you're making 5 figures, 6 figures, it doesn't matter. You have already been branded. Why allow others to create the brand about you? I feel it is our responsibility to become branded the way we choose to be, so that others can understand who we are. Having the clarity about who you are, what you can do, what you bring to the table. It doesn't matter if you have 5 figures or 6 figures. If you can't do it on your own, then you need help. It's as simple as that. And the other thing is this: if you aren't making 6 figures and you have an aspiration to make 6 figures, then that's when you really want to get someone to help you with your brand so that your brand is projected in the manner that you would like to see it. Because I don't care who we are, everybody needs someone in their lives to help them to get to where they want to be.
Linda, I know you also work with career women, not
Yes.
just people in business.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you differentiate between those in career and those in business? Because in business, you may be talking about colors, but you're going to tell us later that it's branding it go beyond colors. So
Oh,
how does your work apply to working women like those in career?
women in corporate. First of all, let me define for everyone. When we talk about a brand is a desired perception in the minds of other people. Branding is the communication tools that convey your brand to the world. There is a difference. Brand is your reputation. It's about perception. It's about how people feel about you. Branding is the vehicle to communicate your brand out into the world. The branding is your website, logo, color palette, stationery, the social media platforms you choose. That's all branding because it's communicating who you are. Now, to answer your question regarding women in corporate, they come to me because they have aspirations for where they want to be. And they understand that a personal brand will help get them on the radar for the position that they are choosing to land at some point in the future. I work with female vice presidents, and their goals may be, I want to become a senior vice president, or they may have an aspiration later to become considered for CEO in a firm. But the difference, there is no really a vast difference. Women want the same thing. Women want to be successful. Women want to have their voice. Women want to be in the position that they choose. So when you speak of the difference between women in corporate and women in business, they're basically the same thing because it's all about fulfilling the goal that she has for her life. And the other is all females want to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes women don't like talking about making money. They shy away from it. They feel that, especially women in business, when you ask, okay, let's talk about your pricing. Sometimes they feel that their price may be too high and they won't ask for it. They will allow others to dictate to them what they should be charging for their services. And that is not the appropriate way to manage your business. You are worthy, and this is what I always tell people. If you have taken the time to become a specialist or an authority in your niche, that means you have gotten the training, you have your life experiences that have helped you to get to where you are. You have read tons of books. You have had coaches. You have had mentors to help you to get to that place where you can serve and make life better for someone else. Whatever price point that you feel you're worthy of, that's what you ask for. Of course, you don't want to price yourself out of the marketplace, but you definitely want. I always work with clients who want premium prices. I'm just being honest with you. They want to be able to charge premium prices. And when I say premium prices, that's being able to charge $3,000 or $5,000 or more for their services. Well, if they can deliver the results that they promise in their unique selling proposition, why not? And that will help more women. Let's talk about this. More women can earn 6 and 7 figures if they stop feeling that they are not worthy enough to ask for the right price points for their services and their products.
And during our conversation, we talked about this. How is it that, and I also did a show with another person who happens to be a man, and we're talking about the difference between how a man exudes lack of confidence versus how a woman exudes lack of confidence. And the person is saying, when a man lacks confidence, it comes out in so many ways. When a man lacks confidence, they may be boisterous, but that's really, in a sense, trying to cover their inability. They are trying to cover themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
When a man lacks confidence, they may be very intimidating. They want to bully you because they're trying to cover themselves in that way.
Mm-hmm.
A man lacks confidence. They may know what you know that men will rather get lost than asking for direction when they're traveling. So a man doesn't know what the type of job they're applying for. They probably know they can't do it, right? But they're going to apply for that job. And in their mind, they're going to learn once they get there. For a woman, we want to make sure that we qualify for this, we're going to go through the line and make sure that all the ducks in a row before we apply. And so that's really huge. And you talk about the difference between money, what women make and what men make. And it all boils down to how we feel about ourselves, So audience, we're going to take a little break and just want to talk about Women's Coaching Association. That's my new project that I am so excited about. And of course, Linda is going to be one of the members, one of the resources for Women's Coaching Association. This is where women get together. You've learned to be a coach, but now get together with other people to get trained, get networking, but most of all, be in a community of women in a non-competitive atmosphere. You're able to put yourself out there, which is something that I struggle with at the beginning of being a coach. Put yourself out there to potential new clients. Be able to really network, collaborate, and partner with other coaches just like yourself, but among all, learn from the best coaches in the world. So I would love for you to go over to womenscoachingassociation.com, womenscoachingassociation.com, and sign up to become a member today. You are a brilliant coach, and I want you to join this brilliant association. Back to you, Linda. Linda, so as we are talking, we can go on and on about this topic, and I can see that we have a lot of people that are consuming what you're talking about, and I love it. So let me ask you, what is the difference? I know you touched a little bit about it because some people, I get some response here. What is the difference between personal branding versus non-personal branding, whether it's business or not? What is the difference? What is the main difference?
All right. I want to make sure I understand your question correctly. Are you asking me, what is the difference between personal branding and business branding?
Correct.
Okay. Personal branding is branding yourself. It's just that simple. You're branding you. And business branding is what it says. You're branding your business. But let me also say this. Even when you're branding your business, you are still branding yourself. That's why it's so important to understand who you are, because that is going to transcend into your business, your core values, the essence of who you are. It follows you into your business. Like myself, when I think of who I am, I'm very passionate about seeing women in the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. I'm just going to be real, okay? And that's the only way I know to be. Women who start businesses, they are not starting a business for a hobby. They're starting their businesses because they're very passionate about it. They want to make a difference in the world. Some may even want to leave a legacy. So when they're gone, this business can be passed on generation after generation. Now, to get to that level where we can start having that type of wealth from women business owners, That clarity of your personal brand is very key. And the business model that you choose is essential to how your business will evolve. Choosing a niche that is going to attract the right clients, because you need clients in order to prosper in your business, to profit. So with the personal brand, you get to know who you are, who you want to serve, what makes you different, what is that special sauce that you can bring that your competitors can't, okay? Why you should be the one that your particular target audience choose versus them going to your competitors. When you can have clarity about those items, it will help you with your business brand. Am I making sense?
Yes, you are making much sense.
Okay.
Keep talking.
It will help you in formulating your business brand, because the essence of you is going to be in that business. What you want to do, who you want to help, your skills, your abilities, all of that is into your business, and it will help you to flourish. But without the clarity, you will struggle. And having clarity, it helps to, and you and I discussed this the other evening, when you have clarity about what it is that you do and you own it, you know you can do this, you have confidence, right?
Yes.
You have confidence when you are sure, when you have that assurance. I got this. I know what I'm doing. I can make a difference in this group of people's lives, just like myself. I know when a woman comes to me, now I'm not a perfect fit for every woman, okay? But I can tell by just with my intuition, when I do a strategy session with someone and they're looking to become a client, if I'm not a good fit for her, I'll tell her. And I will refer her to someone who I feel who can provide the service that she needs. And that's something that we as women need to understand. If we can't do something, if we cannot provide a quality service for someone, and if you know someone who can do it, refer them there. Don't take on a client that you know you can't fulfill your unique promise of value to them, because then it's going to impact your brand. You're going to get a negative or poor reputation, and we don't want that. So in order to grow our businesses, back to the personal brand and the business brand, get to know yourself. Who am I? What do I bring to the table that no one else does? What is going to set me apart from my competitors? Find out what those strong differentiators are that you possess that your competitors don't. Use that into your business. Now you know what set you apart. That is part of your business. That's what you can go out and market. Making sense?
It makes more sense.
Yes. Now you can market. You can market your business because you know exactly who you serve. You know exactly what you provide for them. You know the results that they're going to get from working with you. And the beauty of this is when you know who your target audience is, you know what their pains are, you know what you can do to solve their problems. It makes your marketing message clear. It resonates with that specific group of people. Now you got clients, you got prospects coming to you, wanting you to solve their problems for them. That's
Awesome.
what your confidence, that's what clarity and confidence will do for you. And then you can communicate like your marketing messages. Those marketing messages communicate what you can do for your target audience.
And so you said the number one thing really you have to be is to be clear, crystal clear.
You got to be. If you don't have clarity, there is no way you can take your business to the level that you want. It's impossible. You will struggle, because if you don't have the clarity and you try to do what you see everybody else doing, and you feel everybody else is succeeding, but you aren't, well, sometimes they may be succeeding, And sometimes they may say they're succeeding when they actually aren't. That's why it's so important for us as women to own who we are. Do what you're good at. Do what you've been called to do. Not try to emulate or do what somebody else is doing. For me, the way I work with my clients for personal branding and business branding, I'm not looking at everybody else and trying to do it the same way that they're doing it. I'm doing it the Linda's way. That's how I do it. That's my point of view.
You put it so eloquently, Linda. So I'm going to ask you, can you give us three? We have a lot of people listening and more to listen later. Can you give us three mistakes that, from your experience, that you think people make in general when it comes to branding?
Thinking that when it comes to building your personal brand, thinking, okay, before they become clear about who they are, the first thing they do, I need business cards, I need a logo, I need a website. So they immediately go and start hiring someone, or they try to do it themselves, to create those items. Well, you don't know who you are. You don't even know what you're providing. You don't know what makes you different. You don't know if those colors that you're choosing is the right colors for the type of industry that you're going into. You don't know exactly who is your ideal clients. So how the messages that you place on your website, who are you talking to? When they come to your website, if you don't have a specific audience and you're using their language to help promote you, how are they going to know you're the right fit? You're the one that they should pay for your services. So those are some of the big ones that I see, is that everyone really wants to start with getting a business, getting their business cards, getting their website, getting a logo, choosing colors before they even have defined who they are as a brand, their personal brand. That's one of the biggest mistakes.
Now that you've given us the mistake, if somebody's listening to you right now, because I know a lot of people will be listening to this video later on, and they're just maybe starting out, or maybe they are not starting out, they've been in business, but they're not familiar with branding. What three things can you give them to, when you're thinking of branding, these are the things for you to watch for?
It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you have been in business for a while. The first thing that I would say is find out what makes you unique. Because it is imperative that you know what is it that is unique about you. And in order for you to know what is unique about you, you will need to identify what are your core values, what are your passions, what are your strengths. You need to know all of that to help you to identify who I am. Now, once you have that, once you can answer who I am, why I do what I do, because people want to know your story. Why, just like you asked me, why do you do what you do? Being able to address that. Who I am, why I do what I do, and who are you doing it for? Having that specific group of people that you can help. Those are the three things that I would say that you need to have clarity about. Without it, you will struggle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And as we come to the end of this show, because I know we have a lot of people asking questions. So as we come to the end, do you have anything to offer the audience or how they can work with you?
For those who are listening and have joined us tonight, if you would like a 30-minute complimentary strategy session with me because of Christy, you can visit my website. It's Pringle, P-R-I-N-G as in George, L-E, biz, B-I-Z, B as in boy, I-Z as in zebra, consulting.com. That is pringlebizconsulting.com. And just send me a message stating that you would like to receive the complimentary strategy session, and we will respond back within 24 to 48 hours and get you scheduled, and we will go from there.
All right, audience, please be sure to take advantage of that offer, and thank you so much, Linda. And before we end, I just want to remind everyone about my project. Soon it will become your project as well, which is Women's Coaching Association. Women's Coaching Association. This will allow you to put yourself out there, get connected with other women coaches just like yourself. You get to network, you get to collaborate, connect, and partner with other coaches and learn from one of the top business coaches in the world. You get to grow your business while you are growing your database. That and much more is what you're going to get as a member of Women's Coaching Association. Please do go over to womenscoachingassociation.com, womenscoachingassociation.com, and sign up to become a member today. So, Linda, I just want to say thank you for really taking the time. You could have been anywhere else, but I know it's so late, but you still come in to help. But I want to ask you one more question before we end. You are going to be, or you are a member of Women's Coaching Association. So may I ask you, why did you say yes to be one of the resources for that Women's Coaching Association? Why did you graciously say yes?
Well, the reason why I said yes is I said it earlier. I'm very passionate about ending this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle for women. There are more women in business now than ever. But there are only either is 2% or 3% of women in business who are generating 7 figures. The median revenue that women is generating within their business, according to statistics, is averaging around $30,000 to $40,000 a year. That is the reason why when you asked me, I said yes, because I truly want to help women to move that needle so that they are generating the revenue in their businesses that is not only is serving others, but it's going to impact their lifestyle, impact their families, impact their communities. That's why I said yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, audience, before we end the conversation, I want you to know that if you're going to sign up today as a member of Women's Coaching Association, go ahead and on the coupon, type in ROCK, R-O-C-K, R-O-C-K, and I will give you 50% off for signing up for today. So I hope you take advantage of that offer. And again, thank you so much for joining us.